Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to GBHL James's hobby vlog on the GBHL YouTube channel, and I'm coming in with a bit of a unique hobby vlog. I'm actually getting some stuff ready for Sterling, and Jane is away in London at the moment, so I actually think I'm going to get this done in the next couple of days. So this morning I had to take her to the train station about 5:30 in the morning, which was early. Couldn't get back to sleep, so I decided to start painting up some of the things I'm getting ready for Sterling. So I've just been priming Saruman on horse, put him together. I've got a Grima on foot there, and then I've also got the Saruman there. I have to say, even though I washed this guy, getting the black primer on was really tough without doing reasonably thick layers, so that wasn't hugely exciting. However, I'm coming back in now because actually, since Jane is away, I thought I'd do a little bit of a surprise, and I'm going to show you another paint job that I'm doing, which is the front door. Okay, so Jane, ever since we came here, has been banging on about getting the front door done. So I washed this down with sugar soap first of all, just give it a light sand over just to prepare it. So just like with a model, it's important you do your preparation, and I'm actually priming it right now. So this is hopefully going to be a nice red colour. I'm also going to do some of the woodwork in the house, so that is part of my hobby vlog, because I'm going to be doing that and doing my my Saruman and Grima in between, so you get to see both of my paint jobs progressing. So I'll come back when I made a little bit more progress on either the doors or the models. So welcome Strategy Battle Gamers back to my hobby vlog, and it's actually a few days later than I started. So I had full intention of just like messing around and you know, I'd do a little bit of painting while Jane was away, and you know, do some things in the house, but then also paint some more miniatures, and that was the whole idea of sort of showing you a primed front door. But it ended up taking me ages. It took me absolutely ages to paint the front door, and I also did a little bit of woodwork in the dining room as well, which means that only today, so this is now Saturday, and I filmed the first part of this on Wednesday, it means only now am I actually getting to paint some miniatures. So yeah, I have made a start on Saruman on foot, the Snooker Q1, the one mounted, and also Grima as well. So these guys I did manage to prime, I think might have been even on Tuesday or before that. And what I've done here is the next step for the Sarumans was actually painting Mornfang Brown all over the cloaks. Now you might be thinking, whoa, you know, this is Saruman the white, not Saruman the brown. But the reason for that is that just like with the Rivendell Knight kecks, the trousers, where I went for kind of like a cream ivory kind of style pants, I want this to work on from a base to sort of layer up from, and I want that kind of brownness to be in the crevices, because as an overall effect it does give that kind of, in my opinion, that kind of creamy look. And it's also the hint that Kev Marsh Spectre DMS also gave me as well. So I'm going to wait for these guys to dry, and while I do that I'm going to make a little bit of progress with Grima, which should be interesting. I just need to get some black back over. I have these models, even though I gave them a good wash beforehand, getting the paint on them was a little bit tricky for some reason. I don't know whether it's just because I put a little bit too much water into my black paint or what, but I had to end up sticking quite a few layers on. So while these guys dry, I'm going to make a little bit of progress with Grima. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to whack an ink wash over the brown before I start going over with a Sharpie bone. Just before I did that though, I was absolutely dying to, after using him on Thursday night, I went to go to the Northwest Gaming Centre for Guild Ball night, as it were. Jay Finnegan very kindly lent me his Tenderiser, which is the new Butcher's model. I'm going to look to sort of go pure Butcher's going forwards. Now this model itself has caused a bit of controversy in the Guild Ball community, because of, one, the pose. As you can see, I mean, it's pretty out there off the base. It's meant to be smashing against the ground there. I really like what Jay Finnegan's done. If you want to go check what he did out with his Tenderiser, go and check out Guild Ball Informer, which is a YouTube channel of our great friend. And what he did was, where Tenderiser is smashing the ground, he kind of put these like bits of stone, these little bits of chipped stone sort of sticking out as if it was smashing. I'm absolutely going to steal that, so thank you very much, Jay. What I'm going to do the base exactly as I did the others, using the filler, carving into it, but then really sort of chip away at the bit around the hammer, and also stick those kind of little chips into it. Now the reason, as well as the fact that obviously the pose is a little bit controversial. A lot of people have complained about the metal version of this. Now, Jay's actually got the resin version, which is superb, absolutely superb. But the metal version, there was a lot of problems trying to get this arm in. As with a lot of models, where, especially metal ones, where you've got like one piece for the two arms to fit in. Not too bad, I suppose, sometimes with resin, because of course you can whack it in hot water to kind of to give it a little bit of go, and then sort of get it into position, and it should fit perfect. But obviously with metal models, even if you're kind of like 1% or less out, there are going to be little metal bits which make it very, very, very hard to get it in. So I have actually file away, and you can see I've still not managed to get it in fully. Well, it's pretty good. If I was put a little bit more effort into assembly, I would probably get some liquid green stuff and sort of put those into the gaps before I paint it. But to be fair, I will probably just paint it as it is, because I don't mind too much. But yeah, I have actually had to file away quite a bit of his leg in order to get that arm in, and then I had to use my teeth to really kind of clamp it in there as well. But I am looking forward to painting this model. And yeah, I'll probably show you that. So of course I'm pretty sure that the only reason you guys are watching my hobby vlog is because you want to see the progress of my front door. So this was a bit of a surprise for Jane, because she asked for a red front door a long time ago. When we first moved in, I was like, there's nothing wrong with our front door, but here we go. That is our new front door. I'd say I absolutely hate painting woodwork. For anybody who done their own decorating in their house, painting woodwork is an absolute nightmare. It just takes forever, especially when you've got glass panels to cut in around. That was an absolute nightmare. And then I also did some of the skirting boards in here as well that needed doing, and some of the doors there. And I've decided that when it comes to woodwork, I would rather pay £6 or £7 for new brushes than spend and waste half hour of my life washing them. So it's not the same as when painting miniatures in that respect. But now that it's done, that means that I can crack on and get some minis done, and try and make some progress with Saruman, Grima and Tenderiser as well. So the next video I'll come back when I have made some progress. So strategy about gamers, let's have a little look at my progress. So I've had the Wales versus South Africa game on in the background whilst I've tried to crack on with these. So let me show you where I'm up to. So I did put the Mornfang Brown on Saruman, as you can see there, and also went over the horse in black because the horse is going to be black. And this is where I'm up to on this guy. I've actually started putting the Ashabti bone over, and as you can see I've left Mornfang in the recesses, which seems to work reasonably well. So he's where I'm up to as well. And then we've also got Grima. Grima again went over with the black. Why is this not focusing so well today? Here we go. So yeah, I went over with the black with Grima. Then I did some Eshin Grey highlighting, and a very, very light 50-50 of Eshin Grey and Dawnstone Grey. There's a bit of a dry brush, and then I've put an ink wash black Nuln Oil over that, and then I've painted the fur Eshin Grey on there. Again, a little bit of a light dry brush, and then I've inked that. For his skin, because he has got kind of a very pale skin, I've gone for a pallid witch flesh. Come on, focus. There we go. A pallid witch flesh. It's a new paint that I picked up, which I wanted to give a go. So yeah, I think that suits Grima very well, and he's gonna. I think he's gonna turn out quite nice. Actually, he's a pretty simple model to paint. So it'll just be about making sure that you get the little details. It's a model with a ton of character. If you can get the little details absolutely nailed, then I think he's going to look great. So those are the Lord of the Rings ones, and then of course I was also putting together this guy. Now you may have seen a similar kind of effect from Mr. Guild Ball Informer. So if you've seen any of my Guild Ball models before, you'll have seen that I use like a poly poly cement filler on the base, let it dry, and then I'll etch in. I've done it a little bit there while it was wet, just a bit of an experiment, but what I'll do is I'll etch in cobblestones and dry brush over that. But what I've also done here is I went outside and I found a bit of roof tile that had fallen off top of my house, and broke it up with a hammer, and have made it like he is smashing into the cobbles there, and it's something, like I say, that I saw Jay Finnegan do, which I really liked, and I wanted to give it a go myself. Getting him to stick up was a little bit of a problem, and I did realise after I primed this guy that I'd not stuck on his little daggers and stuff, so I popped those on, and that's absolutely fine, because I do have to give him another light, a very, very light sort of undercoat basing, so I'll put some stuff over that, and of course I will need to paint the stuff that's on the base as well. And then while I was doing that, you know, it made me think, well, hang on, let's finally get this guy put together, who I wasn't very much a fan of this model, I have to say, when I've seen other people's version of it. This is Boiler, again from Guild Ball. And I thought that his head was a bit too big. I didn't like the cartoony, I didn't like the pose at all. I've kind of got him a little bit more upright on this one, almost like he's throwing a ball and he's dropped to a knee, or throwing something forward, throwing an axe forward, rather than being with his hand on the actual ground, because that's how I've seen him modelled quite a few times, where the arm is on the ground, and I really didn't like that. So I've got it more, like I say, like he's actually throwing a little meat cleaver here. I just think it's quite cool, and I'm really chuffed how he's come out. I didn't think I'd like it. One of the reasons why I haven't put him in my team, my Guild Ball team, is because I didn't like the model. But now that I've put it together, well, I have to say his connection points were awful. Like really, really small connection points. I've had to do a lot of drilling with the pin vice with this guy. Lots of filing to create little heads to make to connect it up. So yeah, I'll be giving him a prime. He's not a priority paint wise, of course. My priority paint wise is Saruman and Grima. So I'm going to crack on and try and make a little bit of progress now before Jane gets back this evening. So Strategy Battle Gamers, we're coming into what will almost certainly be the end of my hobby blog. This was actually meant to go out last Monday, but I didn't make as much progress as I wanted to. So this should go out actually tonight. I don't believe anybody else has got up a hobby blog so far, and I've just been doing a little bit of touching up. These guys are not finished. Probably the closest to being finished is Grima here, so I'm going to bring him in. Very, very easy model to paint. There's not a lot of sort of colours and stuff. He's not quite finished. Just got a tiny little bit of highlighting to do on his handkerchief, and I do want to do a little bit more sort of detail in his face. I just want to get maybe a little bit of a pinkness around his eyes. At the moment, of course, he does look very pale with the pallid witch flesh, which I wanted to go for, but he doesn't quite look human. I don't want him to look a vampire. I want him to look like a pale human, so a little bit more pinkiness in there I think will sort him right out. But really, really easy to paint. There's lots of dry brushing, lots of blacks and etching grey, not too much of a problem there. I do actually want to get hold of another one of these. A guy actually called, I think it's Robert Hawksworth, has offered to bring one down to the Northwest Gaming Centre, which he's happy to give to me for free, which I'm very, very, very pleased about, because of course with that one I am going to be doing a conversion. I do need to get some green stuff, because I'm going to start doing a little bit of conversion work soon, inspired of course by Flame, of Shadow and Flame. So yeah, cutting this guy up, and well, not this particular one, but cutting up a Grima and getting him mounted will be the plan. If I can't get that done in time for Sterling, then I'm probably just going to take a couple of orcs. You know, although I am taking reasonably competitive armies there, I don't have a shout with the league and that, but it would be nice to win a singles tournament sometime, just for my ego. But yeah, if I have to take a couple of orcs with no gear to fill up that 10 points, then I can do that. Now I'm going to come over here because I absolutely love this model. Now he's not finished. I've got to finish his skin, but I have finished his cloak and pretty much finished his hair and the like. This model has got so much detail, and as you can see, there's lots and lots of different tones in there. This guy actually started off being Mornfang Brown, and then I went over the top with Ushabti Bone. Then after having a little bit of a word with Kev Lawrence, he said that would be probably a little bit too garish, so I watered down some Carrick Stone and I blended that over the top, and then sort of highlighted up to a lighter Carrick Stone. I also use some Baylor Brown watered down in the highlights, just to for almost like a wash to go into some of the edges, and I also did a Doomball Brown wash for some of the really deep edges, and that's how the effect of that cloak turned out. Now this model seems to have lent itself really well to it. It didn't go as well, I have to say, on the mounted model here. It's gone okay, but the metal mounted model, I thought it would come out a bit better. Maybe I need to do a little bit more work with him, but if we put them side by side, you can kind of see that there's just, I don't know, they look okay. I just definitely prefer this Snooker Q Saruman. So pretty much done. I've got some work to finish up on the horse on the mounted guy. Most importantly of all, both of them need their faces and their skin finished off, and that should really kind of make the rest of it pop. And then I will be doing the bases. Now I might do a little bit of a different base for Saruman and for Grima as well. I was thinking maybe sort of almost trying to create like the floor of Orthanc almost as a base, rather than going for kind of my normal style bases. So I was thinking about maybe cutting out just some little bits of cardboard and just trying to sort of make some little flat-ish tiles and do some kind of black tiles there. But that's these guys. Now I thought I would enjoy painting these a lot more. I mean, they've been reasonably easy to paint. I think it's that whole conundrum again of when you feel like you have to paint something, it's just, it does take it, because you feel like you've got to do it. So I'm doing these because I need them for an army, for a tournament. Now that tournament's quite a way off, and I've not been as motivated to get these guys finished as I thought I would be. And remember, I have been enjoying painting lately. Something which I seem to be looking forward to more is actually, if I just come over here, it's actually repainting and painting some of my Rohan. Now this guy here, unfortunately I could not take credit for that banner. The banner was made by Flame, by Dave Fredericks, and of course painted by Kev Lawrence, and it's just stunning. They've left me the model to paint, and Jane's been away today, so I've actually had a couple of Lord of the Rings movies on while I've just been chilling out, to be honest. And now I've been watching some of the wetter stuff about the costumes, and it's just making me really want to repaint my Rohan. Not just that, I filmed a battle report the other day, which will be coming out to you guys next Saturday, or this coming Saturday, and it did involve Rohan. I'm not going to tell you in what capacity, but my goodness gracious me, did it want me to make me want to sort of re-go over those guys and really give them a good paint job and just finish everything that I've got. You know, strip down Erkenbrand and repaint him to a really good standard. Paint my Knight of the Pelennor. I actually was going to paint him tonight. I was seriously tempted to sort of paint this guy and paint Knight of the Pelennor until I saw my senses and realised these guys are at the head of the queue. But also my Knight of the Pelennor, I didn't realise it when I put it together, but he has got some gaps in the metal. Now if I'm going to paint up a model like that, I'm going to have to fill up those gaps with green stuff. So again, I'm going to be making that trip to go and get some green stuff. So it's been a bit of a sort of long hobby vlog, not just in terms of the length of time perhaps, but also the fact that this has been stretched out over a number of weeks. I hope it's not been too dull for you all, and it gives you a little bit of content to follow on your Monday evening. Lots and lots of content going on at the moment, guys, so keep an eye out on the channel. We seem to have loads of battle reports and different series going on all the time. So I hope you're enjoying it. So make sure that you continue to comment, like, share and subscribe, that you support Jamie on Patreon, and that you like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. And as ever, guys, support your hobby and happy strategy battle gaming.